Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Bavsargra deck profile for the August 2025 restriction list. We had a couple restrictions for Bavsargra finally in the English format, with Verlord to 1 and being able to use Dragveda in the same deck as Sealed Blaze of Arbitration, Bavsargra Aksaia. So with it, we've made some changes to what you can run in the deck, taking away for some of the consistency with Verlord just being a great grade 1 booster for your Vanguard. Now we have to rely more on the actual Trick Moon boost, and then we can get to Verlord, all the better with some of the other search we run in the deck. And once again, just changing the trigger option from Dragveda to one of the other more generic over triggers to run. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, we have the Energy Generator with our grade 0 being Sealed Blaze Dragon, our Hinsa Sphere. When rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Sealed Blaze Dragon, Hamarkar Anui. When placed by riding from Sealed Blaze Dragon, our Hinsa Sphere. Soul Blast 1, reveal Sealed Blaze Dragon of Arbitration Bavsargra from your ride deck. Perform one of the following and shuffle your deck. If you went second, perform all the following instead. You search your deck for up to 1 Sealed Blaze Sword Diasava, reveal it, put it in your hand, and search your deck for up to 1 Sealed Blaze Shield Bowen Doth, and reveal it, put it in your hand. So just being able to add both of the arms cards that we run in the deck off of this one grade 1 when just placed from the grade 0. Our grade 2 is Sealed Blaze Dragon, Halabadra Balat. When rode upon by Sealed Blaze Dragon of Arbitration, Bavsargra Aksaia. Counter +1, search your deck for up to 2 arms cards with different card names, discard them, shuffle your deck, shuffle up to 1 arms card from your drop, arm it to one of your Vanguard. So just more search for some of the other arms cards we run in the deck, with our grade 3 being Sealed Blaze of Arbitration, Bavsargra Aksaia. So we are running additional copies in the deck, but before we get to those, I figured we go over some of the arms that we run. 2 copies of Sealed Blaze Sword, Zofsaya. You play it with a Counterblast 1. When it is armed, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets, on Vanguard, all of your front row gets +5 until end of turn. And when this unit armed attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you may have the arm unit get drive +1 till the end of that battle. And at the end of the turn, put this card into the drop, which can be easily, just set back up again with our Vanguard, Bavsargra Aksaia, if need be. The 2 copies of Sealed Blaze Sword, Bowen Hodnoth, with this card once again needing a counterblast for the arm option. When it's armed, you draw a card, and when this card armed is attacked until the end of that battle, the armed unit gets +10, and Soul Blast 1, it gets +20 instead of +10. So if you have the soul to use, it's just an additional shield for the once per turn option to protect our Vanguard, very similar to the original shield. And then the 1 copy of the Tvashtar and the 1 copy of Saruya, which can then go into additional different arms at the end of the turn by being able to have the different arm option with the Counterblast 1 for Tivja, and then the guard restriction with this card, and the choosing option for your retirement of your opponent's rear guard to retire for the Saruya, and the +10 to your Vanguard till the end of turn as well. For the grade 3s, we're running 3 copies of Sealed Blaze Dragon of Arbitration, Bavsargra Aksaia. It's also regarded as Sealed Blaze Maiden of Bavsargra in case there are any other cards that need specifically to be used with that card. And then having the additional option on the Vanguard, once per turn, you put a card from your hand to the soul, choose an arm card from your drop, arm it to this unit. And on the Vanguard, once per turn, if this unit is armed with 2 or more cards, Soul Blast 2, retire all your opponent's front row rear guards, and this unit gets critical +1 till end of turn. If you do not retire any cards, you draw a card. And on Vanguard, once per turn, when this unit is armed, you can Energy Charge 1, choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop, call it to rear guard. If you chose a card of Verlord, you may overdress on Trick Moon instead of calling it. So it just gives you the overdress option from the drop zone. But once again, we're just working with 1 Verlord, so if it's either in the drop from being healed from the damage, you'll just have that card to rely on for the overdress ability. For the grade 2s, 4 copies of Sealed Blaze Dragon, Yumka Shamad. When it's placed on rear guard from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Sealed Blaze Dragon, with Sealed Blaze and its card name, Energy Blast 3, discard an arm card from hand, draw 2 cards, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, gets +5. So a 15k attacker along with draw power while setting up the armed cards to be able to then arm back onto Bavsargra with its own ability for the put a card from hand to the soul, and being able to just restand this unit at the end of the battle your Vanguard with Bavsargra attacked. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can Counterblast 1 stand this unit, which, you can restand it if you know you're going to have enough power to attack with this unit into your opponent as well. If not, you can save your Counterblast thanks to this card. the 4 copies of Sealed Blaze Dragon Apalra, having the option when it's placed on rearguard from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Sealed Blaze in its card name, checking top 5, choosing up to 1 card with Overdress or the Unison Boost, and up to 1 arms card from among them, discard it, and shuffle the deck. So more setup in the drop, whether you'll have the grade 0 or the Verlord to call Bavsargra, or the arm to be able to arm with this unit as well. And from the drop, if your Vanguard is armed, Energy Blast 3, call this card to rearguard, and it gets +5. So then just being able to set up a rearguard as well, thanks to this, makes it a definite 4 for the resource search, and then set up on the rearguard. Also, the 3 copies of Sealed Blaze Dragon Divstizia. When it's placed on rearguard, if you Soul Blast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with the Unison Dress ability, or the Unison Boost ability, or 1 arms card from among them, reveal it, choose up to 1 revealed cards, put it in your hand, and discard the remaining revealed cards. So just being able to have more of those options for the setup in the drop zone, along with the search for a specific card as well, and then just being able to have that option. And when this unit attacks a grade 3 unit, if your Vanguard has 2 or more arm cards, it gets +10, making it a 20k booster on its own, thanks to that setup you did beforehand also. And then the 1 Kankashati for the Soul Blast option to search your deck or drop for an arms card. So being able to search the drop as well with this 1 of tech for the final grade 2s. For the grade 1s, sadly the 1 Verlord now is what we have to work with, but it was definitely a busted combo in the deck and problematic because it cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. When it's placed on rearguard by the Overdress ability, Counter Blast 1, choose up to 2 total arms card from your hand or drop, arm 1 to your Vanguard, and put the rest into the Soul. So just more setup for your armed units as well. And with the Unison Boost, when this unit boosts an Overdress state, all of your front row gets +5 to end a turn for each card your Vanguard's armed with. So if you have the 2, it could be a +10 boost on top of the Persona ride. So just incredibly broken. I have done testing and seen testing just with the 1 of count. It makes it all the difference for consistency to get this card for the Overdress state. And then the 4 copies of Blaze Maiden Cindy for the recycle power as well from the drop zone. When a unit with Trickstar or Trick Moon is placed on rearguard by the ability of your grade 3 Vanguard, if you don't have a rearguard with this card, you may call it to rearguard. And then if you have a Vanguard with Bavsargra, you can put it into the Soul. Choose an arm card from your drop or a card with Overdress ability or the crossover dress and put it into the hand. Add back power of the Verlord as well, thanks to this 1 grade 1. With the remaining grade 1s being the 4 Sentinels, just the Monju Monk. For this one, if you have Elementary Sanctitude, it can always be a placeholder for one of these spots in the deck also. And then our grade 0s being the 4 copies of Trick Moon. When it's placed on your back row center rearguard, you can counter charge 1. And with the added option for the Dress Boost, when this unit boosts, the boosted unit gets +10 to the end of the battle for each of your Sealed Blaze Maiden Bavsargra is armed with. So added boost power thanks to Trick Moon, and the power can provide the boost. But once again, we're going to be relying on this card a lot more if we can't get into the Verlord with the 1 of copy we run in the deck. And our triggers in the deck being the 8 critical, just for the added pressure, along with our Vanguard's own critical, and the added drive check power of its armed unit. 3 draws for the consistency for the hand, and then the additional power to our rear guards, with the heals just being, once again, the generics, the wood elemental leafy for the spot, and the trigger, over trigger, replacing the Dragveda, is the Eidos Faro for the added critical and add back power from the drop as well for a card once we reveal this off the additional effect. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, just an update because it didn't suffer the most, I would say, along with monsters from the restriction list on what you can run in the deck. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.